there will be no local pollution, meaning there's no tailpipe emissions. The charging will be done through electricity, and the electricity which generate power plants, because they are stationary, the pollution can be controlled very effectively. For example, even if you continue to use fossil fuels, say from carbon burning power plants, the carbon dioxide can be stored and not pumped into the atmosphere. It could be buried at sea and so on. So we have a pilot project working in Scotland at the moment, at Longannet. But in the longer term, the Scottish government is hoping to have 80% of electricity generated by wind and other renewable sources by 2050. Then you will have no carbon and no local pollution either.
What sort of savings can drivers anticipate if they switch to electric cars?
There are, when we as engineers we talk about saving, we talk not just monetary saving, we talk about 3 E's. That's our philosophy at this university. The 3 E's is the monetary economy, the energy economy, and the carbon economy, the environmental economy. So these are the 3 E's. Now with electric cars, at this stage I suppose I can introduce one of our articles. It was published by Institution of Mechanical Engineers, which is a very, very established body in UK. They ran this conference on low carbon vehicles some 2 years ago, and we presented our work on electric scooters. So what we found was, with electric scooters, you can drive 10 kilometers for 1 penny. That's excluding the cost of the vehicle, of course. But the running cost is 1 pence per 10 kilometers. In terms of carbon economy, the normal car, an average car, such as say Renault Megane, it will emit 208 grams of CO2 per kilometer. The scooter will emit 33 grams of CO2, so it's 1/6 straight away. That is if you use the fossil fuel electricity. But if your electricity coming from solar, as we have at Napier, we got a solar wall here on the outside of the building. That wall can generate enough electricity for 13 scooters all year round. So if we drive the scooter with solar electricity, the CO2 will drop to 3 gram CO2 per kilometer. So from 208 for a car, you're coming down to 3. So that is the scale of saving. Lastly, the energy economy, it's in proportion to the CO2. So again, your propulsion charge would be something of the order of 1/6 of what is required for a car.
There's still a lot of drivers are still a bit wary about electric cars, aren't they? They don't have the range that they expect. There are relatively few places to top up. How are you going to educate them about those aspects?
Well, as you know, the government has been now switching its attention towards the plug-in places, that's what it's called. In London, for example, there's been talk of setting up 4,000 locations where cars can be charged by the curbside. I've been to a meeting 2 days ago with the City of Edinburgh Council, and they showed me a map in which they have identified all the plug-in places. So there will be something of the order of 15 to 20 places in City of Edinburgh where the charge facility will be available. Of particular interest is plug-in places at the satellite car parks, for the bus travelers. So say you're coming for 5, the bus will bring you to the outskirts of Edinburgh, and then you will have charging places there. So if you want to drive locally, you can charge your vehicle at that point. So across Scotland, across the city, across UK, there will be in due course charging places available. Now, what you're saying is a very valid point, and that is perhaps one negative presently, which doesn't go in favor of electric cars. A typical Nissan Leaf, for example, and I was at the launch, as I said, it will provide for a full charge 96 miles of journey. That's compared to some 300 miles you can get with petrol or diesel cars. But having said that, statistically speaking, 90% of the travel in UK on a daily basis is less than 20 kilometer only. Okay, so if you have a fully charged car, it's enough to take you for about 5 days. So that's really not a problem for commuters.
Paolo, can you tell me why the course has been deemed necessary?
Sure, yes. About a couple of months ago, we've been requested by local governments to run a training course on electric vehicles. The reason is because local governments realize the importance of such technology. The European Energy Centre has been promoting really sustainable technologies and renewable energy for the past 36 years throughout Europe. And this course is just one of the many courses we run on such sustainable technologies. Electric vehicles specifically is a growing technology, obviously. Many people from the public, the general audience is really asking what are the benefits of electric vehicles. And by launching this training course, we want to answer many questions that the audience has, really, and just making sure that everybody is aware and can make an informed decision also when adopting electric vehicles. Local governments especially are very, very interested on this technology. As also Professor Muneer highlighted, obviously people really need to decide if going for electric vehicles or ordinary vehicles for their fleet of cars, for example. It's the most important message that we want the European Energy Centre wants to put forward is really the reasons why people should be adopting electric vehicles. I mean, yeah.
Are people generally quite ignorant of the benefits or the potential benefits?
We feel, yes, that people are not informed about the potentials of electric vehicles. So this course is really aimed at ensuring people are more informed. I mean, that's really what the European Energy Centre has been doing for many years through conferences and training courses, and also with the United Nations Environment Programme and leading universities such as Edinburgh Napier University, which is continuously working with us as well on promoting the best practice in renewable energy, the best practice in sustainable technologies overall, and sustainable transportation is an area which we are now also moving into because it's extremely important for society and to reduce all the CO2 emissions and reaching European targets that are required.